It happened towards the end of the Holocaust when so many of the Jews were being liberated some by American soldiers, some by Russian soldiers, some by British soldiers. Were little by little being liberated and being taken to different facilities for help. You should never know of these things, but you have to think about it. Even those that actually were liberated from the Holocaust, they had to come, and now they had new challenges facing them. And the biggest challenge was, how do they start everything over? Many of which these people had lost everything and everyone in their lives. Everything and everyone. They were all alone. Forget about having to look for people that they didn't even know, whether they perished or not. The hardship that comes with that, having hope, whether their parents, whether their brothers, sisters, cousins survived or not. Leaving that aside, they also had to decide how they're going to start their life. Where are they going to live? What are they going to do? Who are they going to marry? So there were facilities like makeshift hospitals that help these people, nourishment with vitamins and things, keeping them healthy so that they can go back into life. There were organizations that were put together to give the necessities of starting a life to these people that literally came from death. So in these facilities, these organizations, they would set up different people to be in charge. And the people that were in charge were also survivors themselves. They were in charge of different things. They would set up a person in charge of handing out food every day. The other person would be in charge of kind of locating clothing, which people badly, direly needed. Shoes, clothes. People came out of the Holocaust with hand-me-downs that were stitched to other hand-me-downs just to keep them warm, and they didn't even do the job. Ripped up clothing. I'm sure you've seen videos and pictures. So, Baruch was given the responsibility to locate shoes, to order shoes for their group. There was a group of, I don't know how many they were, and they had finally come, and he was setting them up in the shelves, and he had set up a system where he was giving coupons, tickets, to each member of their facility, so that they would come, stand in line, give their tickets, and claim shoes, their size, right? Believe it or not, these were the necessities they needed. They didn't have shoes. So the time comes, and everyone gets into line, standing in this room, so excited to wear shoes. And Baruch, at the time, had been seeing a girl. Her name was Rachel. And he was hoping that she likes her and she's going to be the one. This was one of their challenges. Coming out of the Holocaust, coming out of those death camps, how to start a life. One of the main goals was to get married, start a family, especially get married with someone that understands you, has been in the same places that you've been. Sometimes the same people had the same losses that you had, and it was something that you could share together. They weren't picky, but they definitely needed someone that could understand them. So Baruch had been seeing Rachel for a while, and he was really hoping that she's going to accept him as her husband. And Rachel is also standing in line. And he sees that her eye has caught a pair of red shoes on the shelf. And he's hoping that he could give those red shoes to Rachel. But she's like the 10th in line. There's women coming and giving tickets and claiming 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're all taking different shoes, and the red shoes are still on the shelf. And he sees how much she keeps looking at the shelf to make sure no one's taking the red shoes. Finally, it comes 2 people before Rachel comes up, and the next person comes in line, and the woman goes, "May I please have those red shoes on the shelf?" And now Baruch is stuck. He wants to give those red shoes to Rachel. And Rachel all of a sudden sees this woman asking for the red shoes. He recognizes that's the shoes that she wanted. What is he supposed to do? He really wants to give the red shoes. He could easily say, "No, those were reserved before. It's for someone else. Pick another one." But then she also really wanted those red shoes. They were not in situations where you could break anyone's heart. They were already so broken. How could you say no to someone? So he makes a decision and he gives the red shoes to that woman. As he hands the red shoes off the shelf to her, he notices Rachel with her head down and she's crying. Now he's brokenhearted. We don't feel this way. Oh no, I didn't get the shoes I wanted, whoop-de-doo. Boo-hoo. But at that time, a pair of shoes is all they had. It's something they looked forward to. They're going to get something. And he feels horrible. She doesn't say a word to him. She comes in line. She gives her ticket, goes, grabs a pair of shoes, and leaves. And he's really hurting, like, I just ruined it for myself. I wanted to marry this woman, and what am I going to do now? That night, they were supposed to meet. They meet, and for the first few minutes, they don't say a word. She doesn't say a word to him. Finally, she raises her head up and says, I want to talk to you about something. And he's about to apologize, and she says, don't apologize, let me talk to you first. She says, I think, I know that you're probably thinking that I'm upset about the fact that you gave those red shoes to her and not me. He says, I'm really sorry, I really wanted to. She says, no, don't be sorry. You see, I'm not sorry that you gave those red shoes to her. Yes, I wanted the red shoes. I really wanted them. But I want you to know, I promise you, I did not cry because you gave the red shoes to her. I wasn't sad because I lost those shoes to her. Those tears were tears of happiness. He says, what? How come? She says, because that was the moment that I realized you are going to be my husband. And I'll tell you why. For so many years, in that hellhole, all we did was trying to figure out a way how we can take. It was everyone for themselves. It was constantly taking. Today, I recognized that you can give. And that's the kind of life that I want to live. I want to live a life to put behind what we've experienced, all the taking, and start a life of giving. If you were able to, as much as you wanted to give those shoes to me, you were able to give them to someone else, that's an attribute I want in my husband. And they get married. We learned tonight, that the 3 signs of a Jew are Rachmanim, Baishanim, and Gomle Chasadim. We are merciful, we are bashful, and we're Gomle Chesed. We like to give. A Jew, it's in our blood. In our lives, we are raised, especially today, with just taking. Everything I got coming to me, I deserve it. Constantly, I deserve this, I deserve that. Why not? Why shouldn't I get it? I deserve it. Well, here's a food for thought. Why not give? When was the last time we thought in those terms? What can I give? What can I give to my friend? What can I give to my siblings? How can I give to my wife? How can I give to my husband? Because that's truly what a relationship relies on. If you're constantly thinking of what next you can take, you're never going to get anywhere. But if you think in terms of what can I give next, whom can I give to next, then believe me, you're only going to grow. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen.